Welcome everybody to game 2 of the doubleheader today. Central Penn Knights taking on Lehigh Carbon Cougars. Paul Miller and Tom Davis here with you from the net. Tom will be back here with us in just a moment. Very quick turnaround time between games. On the mound for the Knights is Garcia. Anthony Garcia, the freshman. His second start of the season has pitched 5.2 innings, has allowed 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, and a 3.18 ERA. So it's interesting to see what Garcia has going on. And hoping to get this doubleheader sweep. Knights run to 10-8 on the season, while Lehigh Carbon fell to 7-15. Broke that 4-game losing streak for the Knights, and I just can't get over how well Wyatt Kozer pitched in the first game, the complete game shutout. Had the opportunity to chat with him after the game and said, we were worried about the one time that he had a comebacker, tried to field the comebacker, and did slip coming off the mound, said it did aggravate a hip injury that he's been working through, but certainly couldn't see it coming out of the last part of that game. He was just really on fire, and frankly, I told him one of the best outings I've ever gotten to call. With that being said, no walks in the first game. The first batter Garcia walks is Kaufman, as we see now Boyer coming up, and of course we do have a Boyer and a Kaufman on both teams. That's Ethan Kaufman. And here we have Ben Boyer. Boyer did single. Pardon me, he was 0 for 2 in the first game. Kaufman did not reach base in the first, and in fact grounded into a big double play in the third. Pop out in 3 ground outs for Kaufman. So Kaufman is on base for his first time. They do not have steals listed on the stat sheet for Lehigh Carbon. And there he goes. And Finke thought he had him. Called safe. As we look around the diamond, we've got McCoy manning first again. Zell at second. Lowen at short. Boyer at third. The same infield as we had during game 1. We'll see Kevon Davis at DH. Fulton will be in left. Thomas in center. And Kaufman in right, with Hunter Finke behind the plate and Garcia on the mound. Again, Anthony Garcia is the freshman. One of the few freshmen that's logged really any significant pitching times. Nick Walter has also appeared in 2 innings. And that one is to center, and easily put away by Thomas. So 1 out, 1 on. The walk from Garcia and the steal from Kaufman puts the runner in scoring position for Smith. Smith singled in a 1 for 3 effort in game 1. Just a beautiful afternoon for some baseball here in the net in Palmyra. Hopefully you're on the way to join us. Can't get much nicer day for baseball. There's a slight wind, but about 78 degrees here today. Some cloud cover. And Smith right off the pole in the corner. The pitch, high and tight. One ball and 2 strikes as Garcia here for the third batter in the first inning. And that's going to get away from Finke. And that will allow Kaufman on the wild pitch to take third. with only one out. Welcome to Tom Davis here for joining us. I let everybody know that you were just going to get a little bite to eat between games, but that 30 minutes comes and goes very quickly.
Yeah, that went very fast. I drove down the street to Redner's and got 2 hot dogs to bring back with me, and I heard the game starting as I was leaving my car.
Only 2 batters in, so you're in good shape. And high again. Well, Tom, not one runner even reached third base in the first game, and the first batter, we didn't have any walks or anybody make it to third, and both of those have happened here after the first batter. And he walked him. So 2 runners on out of the first 3. Again, Garcia is a freshman for the Knights, and the only freshman that's gotten a start on this season. In terms of games started, Smiley has started 3, Zerby has started 3, Kohler has started 3, Kozer has started 3, and this is Garcia's second start of the year. And that's going to be down the third baseline foul. Would go for 2 in the first. And this is going to be deep, but will be caught. And the runner is tagging.
And he'll score.
And
Bit of a different start to this ball game.
But 2 down. Wood did drive in that run there.
Fastball way upstairs.
And this is Barons, who struck out twice in the first contest. Also got the last out of that game.
Another call that could have gone either way there on that strike.
Gonna check in over to Smith and see how he's doing. Takes a big lead. And a slider, the strike.
Gets the call this time on the outside. Beautiful pitch.
And one interesting thing from the last game, Tom, Wyatt Kozer did not allow the leadoff base runner to reach.
Ooh, that ball is smoked in the left field. Right through the 5.5 hole.
Smith on to second, and now runners at first and second with 1 run in here for Lehigh Carbon.
Lehigh Carbon's making some pretty good contact right now.
Click did have a single and was 1 for 2 in that first contest. And Click still batting that 196 coming into today. Garcia gets the call on the outside corner.
Nice frame job by Hinkie there, too.
And now that sun goes behind the clouds there.
Ooh, that got him on the hand. Looked like he was going to start his swing, and he just served his hands at the ball unintentionally.
And it looks like Finke was arguing that hit the bat. But the umpire does not concur, which will bring up Harold. Connor Harold, the freshman, 5 for 30, hitting 167 with 4 RBI on the season, and a big batter here for Garcia.
First pitch way upstairs.
They're calling time, and there's going to be a meeting on the infield, probably talking about some defensive alignment with the bases loaded.
And perhaps just giving him a little bit of a reset here.
And such a tough spot to come into, especially in a situation where the first game went so quickly. And, you know, for Garcia to step in here and kind of get off to a rough start here. But if he can get out of this, with only one run in, that's where we would like to be here at the end of the first inning with the bases loaded. But any base, if it can stay in the infield.
Downstairs on that one.
And Garcia deals. Outside. And he's dangerously close. 3-0 to walking in a run.
Should be taken all the way here. Gets the strike call.
Three balls and one strike with the bases loaded here in the top of the first from in the net. And
Off
this
the
is
fists.
Great play there from Zell and gets the Knights out of the inning. It's not before a leadoff walk comes around to score, but I must say, good job Owen Zell there, and great job Garcia getting out of that one. The CPC Film Series returns for the spring term as Film Series correspondent Nick Hogan presents the classic Labyrinth on Friday, May 3rd. It will be held at the Capitol Blue Cross Theater with the doors opening at 6 p.m. Hogan will present on Jim Henson's Labyrinth, the classic 1986 film, produced by George Lucas and starring David Bowie and Jennifer Connelly, about a 16-year-old who must solve a labyrinth to rescue her baby brother when he is taken by the Goblin King. Save the date for Friday, May 3rd, and join us for the CPC Film Series. We'll be back here with you in just a moment from In the Net here at back here with you, Paul Miller and Dr. Tom Davis here from In the Net in Palmyra. So, such a pleasure to join you here. Connor Custer on the mound here in Game 2.
And I got to say, even during warm-ups, he was kind of all over the place. So the Knights need to kind of wait for him to find the zone here and take whatever he gives them.
And that's a very interesting point. You know, what do you do when you see a starting pitcher or a pitcher of any kind who's really struggling to locate, even in practice? I would imagine that would give you some pause to chase some of these pitches.
Yes.
And Custer comes into this contest. This is his 6th appearance, his 3rd game started. He does have a victory.
And, that ruled a strike.
7.2 innings, 7 earned, with an 8.82 ERA on the young season. Well, it's not young, it's about halfway through. Still got a few more good weeks of baseball before postseason play. And for the Knights, it is important to win every contest, but of course those divisional contests that the Knights have coming up. One of the things we'll do here in the second game is to give you an idea of what the Knights' schedule looks like with only 2 more home dates left on the season. There is a possible makeup date looming, and as soon as we get that information, of course, we'll pass it along to you.
Well, there's a leadoff walk, and as I've said, walks will haunt.
Well, in time, we just saw the leadoff walk come around to score for Lehigh Carbon in the first inning, so there's no question about that.
Exactly.
And we also mentioned Zell's speed by far leads the team with 18 stolen bases. Next closest is Gabe Kaufman with 9. Yeah. And Zell took a pretty big lead there, but wasn't running.
A decent lead off first base. Stretches it a little bit more. Here he goes.
Hit and run. That's essentially a
Whoa!
swinging sac bunt, but almost pulls him off the base. And the call is out, but gosh, that was very close and made it much closer than it honestly needed to be.
Yeah, it seemed like he didn't quite bust it down the line the whole time there.
The fielder's choice takes Zell to second. And Kaufman comes up for the Knights. This is Gabe Kaufman. 2 for 4 in that first game with 2 RBI. Kaufman has been an integral part of what we were doing. Of course, we talked about his .527 on base with 15 walks and 52 plate appearances.
Well, he's got a runner in scoring position out there now, but it'd be in no hurry to take many hacks right now until this pitcher can throw more consistent strikes.
Custer.
Daylight play, perhaps. Nope.
Just off the plate, and that's in the general vicinity that the first game umpire was calling, although that did look a little bit off the plate in comparison to some of the calls that were received in the first game by the Knights.
Agreed.
Oops. Oh, he got a late strike call there.
Yeah. About belt high. But again, can he throw a strike back to back?
Fair question. And he serves it to second, right at Smith. And that's out number 2.
And he'll be the first to tell you he should not have swung at that pitch.
Does bring up Zach Boyer, who went 3 for 4 in the first game with 3 singles and an RBI. Again, a team effort in game 1, followed by Kozer's fantastic outing. I'd mentioned this earlier in the broadcast here, Tom, but I did get a chance to talk to Kozer between games. Told him that it, in my recollection, was the best starting pitcher performance I have ever gotten to call.
Definitely.
I did ask him about the hip coming off of the mound, and he told me he was feeling a little pain, but generally speaking, he was doing okay and was able to stay in that game. Boyer pops it up to left field. That will retire the side even after Zell walked to start the inning. And that will take us to the top of the second inning. Knights trail 1-0. Everyone, mark your calendars for Community Night as we welcome all faculty, staff, alumni, and community members for the final home baseball game of the year against Christendom. On Friday, April 26th, join us for a pre-game recognition ceremony on Senior Day, followed by a doubleheader scheduled for a 4 p.m. first pitch. Catch the Knights under the lights for Community Night on April 26th. And Tom, now's as good a time as any to talk about the upcoming contests for the Knights. Everyone, only 2 more contests at FNB Field this season. Be Tuesday, April the 22nd versus Williamson Trade at 1 and 3. And then that Community Night, April 26th to Friday at 4 and 6. Of course, those times, the second game is an estimated start time. Even at one of the probably quickest games that I recall calling, that was still about 2 hours. So I would say that second game is fair, that it probably wouldn't start till about 6:30. I've been telling everybody that the games typically have gone from about 4 until about 9 o'clock. So we'll get a couple hours of twilight and even the lights out at FNB Field. The only other thing worth noting is that there's still a home contest looming against Manor College, our ESAC rival. which that makeup date has yet to be announced. So stay tuned to centralpennknights.com for all the information about schedule updates, scores, live stats, and anything else associated with Knights athletics. And there is a shot
That
to
is
the
deep
wall.
off the wall.
And a leadoff double.
Stand up double. Serious contact off the bat there. Line drive that just stayed up and got all the way to the wall. Turn and burn.
So it's 2 innings back-to-back that Garcia has let up the opposing leadoff runner on base. And we'll see if he can pitch around the leadoff double. And Landis. What a bunt. And they're not even going to get him at first. How about a bunt for a single?
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of miscommunication there. There was no chance of throwing the... They thought about trying to get the runner going to third, but it was just placed perfectly that they really didn't have a shot.
Back to the top of the order for Kaufman, who walked and scored back in the first, the lone run in this game thus far. And there's a shot to center, and that'll score a run.
Quite the different complexion in this game so far early on.
No question about that. Rush will score, Landis to second, and a single and an RBI for Kaufman. So Kaufman 1 for 1, an RBI and a steal and a run scored. Which brings up Boyer, who flew out to center field back in the first inning.
Gets ahead here with fastball.
That being said, it's only 2-0. So if Garcia can limit the damage here after the offensive firepower the Knights showed in the first game, still make this a contest. And there is a shot to deep center field, and that is going to roll all the way to the wall. 1 run's going to score. They're holding him at third.
So it's an RBI 2-bagger here. Another shot to the left center field gap. And things are not looking good early on for Garcia.
We're going to take just a short break while the mound visit happens, and we'll be all right, back here, Paul Miller and Tom Davis in the net. The Knights are trailing 3-0 with 2 runners in scoring position, and Garcia has really struggled, has allowed 4 consecutive hits to start off this inning, including 2 doubles.
They played the infield in on that last one. Let's see if they're still kind of in just on the grass here. Maybe going to try to cut a run down at home if they can, but...
And the runner comes home.
What an amazing... Oh! Catcher dropped the ball.
Such a close play to getting an out there by Finke, but just couldn't hold on to the ball on a sacrifice fly.
What a throw from right field that was.
A laser. But alas, the Knights now trail 4-0.
If that were me, my arm would have come with the ball.
Still only 1 out. There's another 1 out to right. And another catch.
Not have a quick relay in, however. It seems like maybe a lapse there and how many outs there were.
I just wanted to make sure he caught the ball.
Yeah, but he was not quick to get that ball back into the infield, and the runner wasn't even sure what was going on either, but He still had plenty of time to tag up.
Well, after back-to-back sack flies, the Knights have now found themselves down 5-0. Here in the top of the second, and they are just going
Off his
Garcia.
glove. Yeah, they are not missing anything right now. Garcia is having a difficult time missing bats.
Well, because of the 2 sacrifice flies, there are 2 outs. But the Knights have got to stop the bleeding in a hurry as Click comes up. Click was hit by a pitch in the first. Garcia's allowed 5 base hits and allowed 4 of those runners to score here in the second, which means the Knights trail 5-0 after cruising in the first contest, 8-0. And many of the same players who were very cold against Kozer are catching fire here against Garcia.
Misses downstairs with the fastball. Anything that is remotely up, they are depositing into the outfield right now.
The pitch from Garcia. Outside.
Close pitch there, but
Yeah, just back to that play, the first sacrifice fly. Finke made the play perfectly, but just could not hang on to that ball. And Garcia gets a call.
good firm fastball on the inside corner there. 3-1. Runner at first takes off.
And that's out to right. It's going to be out of play. You know, Tom, the one thing I did have the chance to talk to Wyatt about was I'd asked him if earlier today during the 1 o'clock game, how slippery it was on the mound and how much different that was from pitching at FMB and other non-turf fields. And he said it's a whole different sort of ballgame. And, of course, you see how well he pitched.
Yeah.
He didn't have any answer for it. There goes the runner at first again.
The batter here is really trying to go. Click is really trying to drive this to right field and get that runner over to third base.
Can Garcia get out of this inning? Full count. And walked him.
And they've been haunting so far. They will continue.
Well,
That was an expression the old Minnesota Twins announcers used to use back in the Baggy Dome days. Walks will haunt, they would say. And they were often right, especially when the Orioles were in town.
well, that looks like it is going to do it for Garcia. And looks like Hafner coming in. We got to see Hafner last time. Unfortunately, Garcia only makes it through 1 2/3 innings. We're going to give Hafner a couple of minutes to warm up here. We did get to see him last time around. He pitched quite well. So we're going to take just a short break. And back here with you, Zach Hafner relieves Garcia, who unfortunately couldn't make it out of the second inning, allowing 5 earned runs. Hafner has he only pitched that one game, and in 3 innings did allow 3 earned. Pardon me, 4 earned. But he has got, and this was the thing, I know Zach watches the games after the fact because he reached out about a comment that I made in the last game, and the comment was, what I really like about Hafner is that he's got different arm slots, and I compared it to sort of David Cohn back in the day.
That's a nice comparison. Gets the cold third strike.
And gosh, to stop the bleeding, that was exactly what the doctor ordered. And the Knights, after a really tough inning there, now going to the bottom of the second, down 5-0. Can the Knights get the bats going?
Let's see. It's hard to study when you're hungry. The college pantry can help. Central Penn College and your Student Government Association are committed to ensuring that all of our CPC Knights have access to food when they need it. Requests are kept anonymous and can be submitted online. Look for the link under the Links section of Student Central or contact Lindsay Garber, Director of Housing and Residence Life, at lindsaygarber@centralpenn.edu.
We'll take a short break and be back here with you for Do Up, Tanner McCoy, Kevon Davis, and
What it looked like. They almost get smashed.
back here with you, Paul Miller and Dr. Tom Davis here from In the Net. I almost said FNB Field. We'll be back there next week. In the Net here in Palmyra. Again, fans of the Nightly News broadcast will remember that we've played here numerous times. In fact, I believe the first 3 seasons that we played, that we called games were exclusively here, including the 7-1 2020 team that was the subject of the Final Out documentary that I put together.
Which was a wonderful piece. Boy, that ball looked like it was 3 balls off the plate inside, and he got the call.
And that's down for McCoy. Again, McCoy, not only did he have a great offensive game, including 1 for 2 with 2 RBI, he also had 2 dynamic plays and several other scoops. So congratulations on a great first game for McCoy. But as he'll, I'm sure, tell you, that game is over.
He's trying to get him to chase down in the dirt here, but he laid off those last 2 pitches.
And McCoy gets some good wood on it, if you will.
The ping of the bat.
Fairly routine play over to first, and that retires McCoy.
Looks like Kevon Davis is going to get an at-bat here.
And one thing that I have commented about Davis, so Davis coming in today, only hitting 154, but over the last couple of games, Davis has really been much more selective at the plate. And a comment I made to him last week, I was, giving him props for working these counts and walking. So especially in a situation where we haven't really seen Custer show much control, we've just been swinging. It leads me to believe that some more walks could be coming, and down 5 we need it.
Yes, we do. That one's down the pike.
One ball, one strike to Davis. Way high. I gotta tell you, I've never done any umpiring, but That's got to be the most scary thing in the world. Like having a fastball coming right at your plate, hoping the guy catching the ball puts his glove up in time.
Indeed. Hoping that a foul ball doesn't come directly back at you either.
Literally, that pitch right there was going to hit him in the face unless the catcher caught the ball.
I remember the days of Little League where the umpires would stand behind the pitcher's mound.
I actually remember that a little bit during COVID as well. And walks him, and Davis runs that walk. That's exactly what we were talking about right there, being much more selective at the plate.
Good at bat. Great at bat for Kevon.
Brings up David Thomas. 11 out of 32, 12 RBI on the season. That puts him good enough for second on the team coming into today.
I like to call him David Thomas, the young philosopher. We had a fun conversation in class last term, because many times in my life, I've been mistakenly referred to as Dave Thomas. And I had to have a conversation with him about that, of course.
Slider outside.
Good eye there.
See how much of a lead Davis gets over there. 3 or 4 steps.
Fastball way upstairs.
And this is where you got to start being very selective in how what you're swinging at. Down 5 runs here, only 1 out. If you can get 2 runners on base, Finke and then Fulton, and then back to the top of the order. Way outside, back-to-back walks now for Custer.
So suddenly the Knights have something cooking here with runners on first and second. Hunter Finke's about to step in. I'd like to see him shorten up his swing a little bit here and just dump the ball into the outfield.
Finke's still looking for his first base hit on the season, 0 for 10.
So let's get him an average starting today.
Does get the call across the letters. First and second. Knights are threatening here.
Thought about it, but held back. Took a pitch down in the dirt.
And a base hit here would go a long way to helping the Knights' cause. Down 5.
Takes it down and away. He's working it here.
Custer has lost all command here. Back-to-back walks and quickly 2 balls, 1 strike on Finke.
This would be a great time for Hunter to get his first hit.
Custer fires. And big hack.
Very big hack.
2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 down here, bottom 2. Knights trail by 5. Can Finke make some contact here and at least move the runners over? And he struck him out. 2 big swings there with 2 balls for Finke. And he goes down on strikes. He's going to bring up Fulton. Nick Fulton, the senior, hitting 300 on the season with 5 RBIs, 3 out of 10. Got the pitch called on the high side. That almost looked above the letters, but
yeah, still don't quite know this umpire's tendencies here yet.
got the call.
Now he gets the low call.
Usually one or the other.
So this
High versus low.
strike zone's about twice as high as it should be.
And that puts you in a tough spot if you're Fulton, quickly down 0-2. And that's going to go the other way.
And a
Huge hit there from Fulton as Davis comes around to score. Thomas to third. Huge play for Central Penn. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Now we get back to the top of the lineup. And Zell could use a base hit of his own.
pitch up and away. Easy take.
Reed walked and had a sack bunt in the first game. Did walk in this game. So he's had 2 walks today. But a base hit here would be fantastic. We got Thomas on third. Fulton on first. Zell at the plate.
Ooh, oh. Boy. Those outside corners today with this umpire in game 2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
That
to
strike
Zell.
was stolen.
Zell's a good 2-strike hitter.
Ooh,
Struck him
nasty
out.
breaking ball to strike him out there. Been
Well-
throwing a steady diet of fastballs, and he broke out the big curve there.
That being said, the Knights did score a run thanks to the RBI single by Nick Fulton. We're going to go to the top of the 3rd inning. Knights trail 5-1. The Central Penn College app was designed with students in mind. The app brings the school to your fingertips and enables you to connect with the Central Penn community. Stay on top of your events, classes, and assignments with the built-in calendar function and get notified of important dates, deadlines, and security announcements. Make friends, ask questions, and access campus resources at any time. Search Central Penn College in the App Store. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back here as Hafner back on the mound in the top of the 3rd. Paul Miller and Tom Davis here with you from In the Net and Paul Meyer and Knights Trail 5-1 as Hafner continues in this game
Blows that one right by him.
from Garcia. And that is what is very impressive about Hafner is he can change speeds with the best of them, but he has got a dynamic fastball.
Fastball's working right now. Pretty
Rush.
sure he's going to go with another number 1 here.
Rush doubled and scored to lead off inning number 2 against Garcia.
Not a number 2 or number 3. Way outside.
One ball and 2 strikes for Hafner. And that is popped straight up. And it looks like Hafner's got a beat on it. And he caught it. Great play. And
Great
I
play.
apologize that that's off camera. There are some nooks and crannies around here that we cannot see. But what a play by Hafner. And I'll tell you what, Hafner's history as a catcher probably served him well over there. And it was tough because the infielders looked like that they just lost
Yeah.
the...
Or they couldn't decide who should take it.
And as I'm sure that most baseball fans know, the pitcher should never be taking it. But Hafner looked. No one was making a read on it, so he took control and made the play. Again, apologies that was off camera, but it's another beautiful play. Congratulations to Hafner on a wonderful job.
Ooh, up and in.
And there's one of those situations where he changes his arm slot.
Yep.
And it's impressive.
It looks like when he does it, like especially on that pitch there, he got a little more run to his arm side. Getting on side of the ball a little bit, getting that two-seam spin. Yeah. That ball's up.
But that was a very similar pitch to a called strike earlier, and I think that's what his complaint was. Struck him out.
That was strike 2.
Umpire punched him out prematurely.
I think we were all confused there.
Okay.
Full count.
Full count. And the Central Penn bench not happy. They thought he rung him up. What a pitch.
Blows another fastball right by him.
And so what was even more interesting about that pitch sequence was there was a pitch in the middle there you want to call a changeup. That might have had 15, 20 miles an hour of variation in speed. So I would love to talk to Zach about his changeup, or if that's even what he would consider it.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what his pitch grip was for that.
And another thing that I find interesting, and again, I know Hafner has played 9 games this season, many behind the plate, but this is only his second appearance as a pitcher. Again, I don't envy Coach Stern. In having to try to find time for the numerous pitchers. In fact, 17 pitchers have pitched at least 1 inning for Coach Stern. But how in the world is Hafner this is only his second appearance? I mean, look at how good he's pitching.
He's got electric stuff. Another fastball.
They just cannot catch up to it. This also might be a situation where Hafner is only going to get maybe an inning or 2 and is just giving it all he's got.
He also hides the ball pretty well. I've noticed that now. I'm paying more close attention to that. He does a really good job of hiding the ball.
Another tough ball called there by the umpire.
Fastball up. That'll do it.
And what's even crazier about all of these is every single one of these is a swinging strike.
Yep.
And there serves it to Zell. Zell comes up with it in a quick 1, 2, 3 inning. And those are the types of innings we're going to need the rest of the way as we trail 5-1. Staying active just got easier. For those striving to be more active, our athletic department has recently launched Sir Will's Rec Rentals, a new initiative that enables students to borrow sports equipment, sign out basketball, volleyball, and more to use in our outdoor rec areas. Stop by the Underground to borrow equipment for up to 7 days and get your game on. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back here with you as soon as... Paul Miller, Tom Davis back here in the Net Sports Complex in Palmyra. Knights did push ahead across a run in the second inning thanks to a Nick Fulton RBI single, which will bring up Lowen, Kaufman, and Boyer here in the bottom of the third. Knights gotta try to manufacture some more runs here.
It's popped.
And Owen Zell almost ran out of the dugout and caught the ball. Custer has looked okay.
Let's just hope this is his last stand.
I was waiting until someone has walked 3, and gosh, but behind. And I gotta be honest, I remember from my playing days, that was one thing that got me kind of anxious in the box when somebody threw behind me, because I'm sitting here thinking this guy has no clue where this ball is going.
Absolutely. Similar memories.
And that
And
was
then when they
a beautiful pitch.
dump the curveball in like that too.
One ball and 2 strikes to Lowen here, reached on a fielder's choice. And he mowed him down with the slider. Lowen down on strikes. Gabe Kaufman comes up. He lined out to second back in the first. Zach Boyer on deck, and, only one swing away from Boyer, so hope to see Kaufman getting on base.
Yes.
And that's something he's great at. .527 on base percentage coming into this game.
Let's see him work it here. That was a nasty backup slider there.
And Custer has navigated some walks. Definitely got some electric stuff.
Yes.
And has now struck out 3.
It's just his control seems to come and go, so you just... Lots of long counts would be beneficial. If they can just fight some off, spit on a few close ones. That's going to fall in.
Going the other way. Kaufman singles.
Another base hit to right field.
Just what we needed to bring up Zach Boyer. Boyer flew out to left back in the first, but was 3 for 4 in game 1 with an RBI. And, of course, leads the Knights with 3 round trippers on the season. So one of those here would be...
just what the doctor ordered.
Indeed. Inside to Boyer. I got to be honest, when I think back to that 2020 team, Boyer was just a freshman back then and has really moved the needle in terms of being a Central Penn Knight. And there goes Kaufman, and it's a hit and run.
Is a base hit.
Kaufman will go to third, first to third.
Throw gets by the third baseman, but he'll have to hold. Excellent piece of hitting. Just smoked that.
Boyer. And now Tanner McCoy. McCoy has been hot with the 2 RBI. And can he get something going here for the Knights, who trail by 4?
Let's hope so. Nice base hit. Might deliver 2 here. Oh.
And he's first pitch swinging. They're going to trade the out for the run.
Close play at first. Throw brought the first baseman up, but he got back down in time.
And that's been a very difficult situation on some of those infield plays.
Yeah, lots of low and high throws to first base.
Indeed. Nonetheless, the Knights put another run up for Davis. Davis walked and scored the first run. And he is looking to unload here.
Swing.
And he got his pitch, and it's an RBI for Kevon Davis.
Beautiful stroke there by Kevon, just smashing that through the 5-hole.
And the Knights dugout is beside themselves. And we are making this a ball game.
Here comes the young philosopher, David Thomas. Looking to keep the line moving here. Gets a nice call on a fastball outside. Could have gone either way, but ahead in the count. Getting the direction from Coach Stern at third base there. We might see a hit and run. There goes Kevon.
And there's the hit. Shot to center. And David, he could have made it, but in this situation, you do not want to press it.
No. I think it would have been a very close play at third base. I was thinking he was going to go, and then I saw the outfielder throw the ball into third on a line.
That is who scored. A single from Davis, who's now at second, and a single from Thomas. So 2 RBI, and it is now 5-3.
And let's see if Finke can get off the schneid here.
That was another one I always wondered what that meant.
The origin of off the schneid?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one myself.
I'm sure there's... And I always find that there's always a lot of really interesting things that you learn where, like, how some of these colloquialisms came to be.
Their origin stories, their etymology, yeah.
2 down here with Fulton on deck. So if Finke can reach and load the bases for Fulton, we'll at least get back to the top of the order in the 4th. Big curveball. Finke takes. And this is an opportunity for Finke to really do something special here. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He's got a lot of room to play with here. The shortstop and the second baseman are very often trying to pinch the runner at second.
Oh, he almost got hit. Might have even caught his jersey. Two balls and a strike. Should Finke reach? Fulton is on deck. He drove in the first run of the game. Big cut. 2 strikes.
Like to see him shorten up his swing a little bit here.
Try to go the other way.
At least put the ball in play.
Knights trail by 2, but are threatening. And takes ball 3.
Sort of a flat breaking ball on the inside there.
And Finke, 3 balls, 2 strikes. A walk will load the bases for Fulton. And he struck him out. 2 strikeouts in as many innings for Finke, and that will retire the side, but that's not without...
Calling all gamers. Central Penn College was recently accepted into the National Association of Collegiate Esports. We are now a part of the association that boasts more than 130 schools and over 3,000 student athletes. If you have any interest in the Central Penn Gaming Club or the esports program, please reach out to club advisors Michael Picote or Donnie Lewis.
And of course, you can go into your Outlook and just type those names in, or feel free to reach out to me and I can connect you with them as well. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back to see what Zach... Back here with you, Paul Miller, Tom Davis, and now Boyer, who... And Hafner has been just what the doctor ordered for the Knights ever since relieving Garcia.
Takes a pitch in the dirt.
Gets the call at the knees. And serves it, and Hafner And Lowen to first.
Oh, he got him.
What a play by Lowen.
What a throw. What a throw. He had to have a lot of steam on that one, and he did.
Unbelievably impressive play there to get Boyer there at first. On the 6-3 put out. And another is defensive efforts here. As Smith walked and had a sack fly thus far today. Coming in here about 4:15 in real time. Of course, I know many of you will be watching this on demand, available on demand, and will be available forever.
Yeah, and we know that the players and the coaches like to watch them too.
Absolutely, yeah. The numbers that we get in terms of viewership is just really, really something special. And that's why, I really do make it a point to thank all of our viewers, because the bottom line is, if we didn't have anyone watching this, I don't know that we would do it. But I got to tell you, Tom, and this is all publicly available on YouTube, we usually average anywhere from 250 to 350 views per game.
Which is fantastic.
For a school of our size and a broadcast of our means, I got to say that I continue to be shocked by how many of you out there do support us, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
And there's that shift in the arm slot.
Sinking line drive. He held on to that.
And they're going to give him the out. Great play.
That ball had a lot
by
of English.
Kaufman.
A lot of English on it off the right-hander there.
And Hafner has retired 6 consecutive Lehigh Carbon Community College batters. And this is a game that if the Knights do battle back, this will be one they remember.
I thought that ball went through him there for a second.
Talk about a little bit of tail action at the very end. The pitch from Hafner. And that's going right at McCoy. McCoy keeps it in front of him.
Stays with it. And a nice hustle to the bag to take the out himself.
Another fantastic play from McCoy. He's probably going to get sick of hearing me say that. But that will retire the side back-to-back. 3 up, 3 down innings for Hafner. We will go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Knights still trail by 2.
Staying active just got easier. For those striving to be more active, our athletic department has recently launched Sir Will's Rec Rentals, a new initiative that enables students to borrow sports equipment, sign out basketballs, volleyballs, and more to use in our outdoor rec areas. Stop by the Underground to borrow equipment for up to 7 days and get your game on.
On that.
Okay.
Back here, bottom 4. Knights trail 5-3. Started off 5-0, but have battled back over the past 2 innings to push 1 across in the second, 2 across in the third, thanks to a Kevon Davis single and a Tanner McCoy fielder's choice, as well as back in the second, a Nick Fulton RBI. Speaking of which, Nick Fulton up to bat.
Boy, the low calls today have been something. And when I say today, I mean game 2.
Eli Angstad, number 33, is in for Lehigh Carbon. Another questionable call.
Delayed call, too.
And everyone, we've got a very similar perspective to the screen that you're looking at, so we've got a pretty good perspective.
Knights looking to get something going here. Definitely need to put up some more runs.
And Fulton down on strikes to start off the bottom of the 4th inning. And this is where we'd like to see Owen Zell get something going. Again, he was 0 for 3 with a sacrifice and a walk in the first game. Did walk in the first, struck out in the second.
Yeah, I'd love to see him just slap a nice line drive into the outfield, get himself on base.
And what's interesting, if he could somehow find a gap, he's easily in for 2,
Yeah.
if not 3.
Yeah, he can run for days. Shows the bunt, but pulled it back in time to take a ball.
Again, it was a pleasure to get to call Wyatt Kozer's shutout earlier today. And it was really nice to get to speak with him after the game and give him congratulations. So that combined with a comeback victory here would probably be one of the most memorable days I can ever remember calling games.
For sure.
And that's
Just
gonna
a
be
little late on that.
out of play down the left field line. And that again with the just perfect weather has just equaled a wonderful day, although the Knights trail by 2. Another tough call.
He likes those calls down low, the umpire, like we're playing cricket.
And there's a shot. This is going to be tough. Slow
Great
roller.
speed from Zell. Ooh, he takes a spill, but he did beat that out.
He popped right back up too.
Now he's hunched over. That looked pretty bad down there. Hope he's okay.
Excuse the colorful language from the players.
Yes. Yeah, he was giving it his all, booking it down that line.
And those are exactly the type of plays that Zell can give to you. I hope that he's okay. He looks to be okay down there, but you never know what
he's already
dealing with.
running for second. Ball's bunted back behind the plate.
You know,
yeah, he didn't waste any time trying to take second there. So
I got to be honest, I am not a manager here, but I don't understand why you don't just give Zell the opportunity to steal and then bunt him to third down 2. And I've seen Coach Stern do that before. And they check on Zell. And that's just a beautiful camera angle that we have down there down the first base line, I got to tell you.
yes, it is.
Outside to Lowen, who grounded out and struck out in this contest. And keeping an eye on Zell, as well they should.
No limit on any disengagements, I believe.
You know, you say that, but there was a pitch clock violation in our last game.
Was there?
Yes. Where there's a pitch clock, I'm not really sure. And at FNB, and there goes Zell.
Good
He
throw.
is in there.
Good throw might have gotten him there. And he takes second.
And now a runner in scoring position. Only one out with Kaufman and Boyer on deck. If we could get back to Boyer, this game could get interesting in a hurry.
Here in the Knights dugout, come to life here.
And foul tipped it.
There are 2 outs, correct?
Only one down.
Okay,
Fulton
there's one
struck
down.
out to lead the inning, and then Zell singled and stole a base.
Still don't like the idea of bunting him to third here.
And this is going to be As good as a bunt as Zell goes over to third on the fielder's choice from Lowen. That's his second fielder's choice that he's grounded into today.
So 2 down and another run just 90 feet away.
And Gabe Kaufman singled and scored back in the third.
Knights will take this run any way they can get it here. Straight back up the middle is his best bet here, I think.
Kaufman 2 for 4 in the first game, 1 for 2 here in a second.
This is a very straight up defense. There's a lot of room up the middle.
And that's going to squeeze through. And the RBI single from Kaufman makes this game 5-4.
Did a nice job of going with the pitch there, just pushing it to right field. Take what the pitcher gives you.
And this is the kind of small ball that anytime you talk to Coach Stern, he absolutely stresses. Which brings up Zach Boyer.
Those little things add up in baseball very quickly.
Zell scored, Kaufman to first. There is 2 out. Fulton struck out. Lowen grounded out into a fielder's choice, but the Knights only trail by 1.
Big cut. Just got a piece of it there, the outside corner.
And taking a look at Boyer's stats this year, hitting .386 with a .500 on-base percentage, 3 home runs, 20 batted in, and also leads the team in hits, doubles. So, pretty impressive resume on the season. I mean, literally, Kaufman was about 2 steps off the bag there to warrant that pitch over. Not taking much of a lead at all. And now he goes. So a delayed steal.
And it was a great pitch to run on, too. A ball in the dirt.
And now a base hit can tie this game up. And the way Hafner's dealing, this is going to be an interesting end to this contest. The pitch. And Boyer was on that one. Just fouled it back.
That was a nice, healthy cut there. Let's do it again.
Base hit could tie this ball game. Again.
Fouls it off.
With McCoy on deck.
Swing and another foul.
Fouls it off again. Yes, absolutely. Boyer is battling.
Which is good in many fronts. Make this pitcher throw as many pitches as you possibly can.
Angstad has pitched well. Only a couple of base hits and, a steal from Zell, a steal from Kaufman. And Kaufman, halfway down the baseline there, did not end up going.
So full count. Still grinding this at bat.
And he smashes it to left center, and that's going to get down. And that will score Kaufman. Boyer into second base with his second consecutive double, and that ties the game at 5.
That was a smoke job there. Opposite field into the gap, just up against the wall. went with that pitch. That pitch probably was a little off the plate, but he knew what he could do with it, and he did it.
And that brings the comeback all the way back to 5-5 as the Knights trailed at the end of the second 5-0 and have battled their way all the way back with runs in the second, third, and fourth innings.
So a brand new ball game, folks.
One run in the second, 2 in a third, 2 in the fourth, and RBI from different members of the team all around the board, including Kaufman, Boyer, McCoy, Davis, and Fulton. True team effort. And that is going to be foul. That's a tough play.
Just foul. Just to the left.
Looked like it caught right in front and then bounced over the bag.
Yeah, it was close. Maybe someday they'll use our cameras for replay.
That's going to be right back up the box, and that will retire the side, but not before the Knights are able to add 2 more runs on and tie this game up at 5 as we go to the top of the 5th. This game is getting exciting. The Nightly News Media Club at Central Penn College is looking for new members. Members have the opportunity to get hands-on experiences writing for our student publication, The Nightly News, being a part of our Nightly News podcast, and being a part of our sports live stream broadcast. Email Club Advisor Professor Paul Miller at paulmiller@centralpenn.edu. We're going to take a short break, and we will be back here to see if Zach Hafner can hold lead.
Yeah.
Back here with you.
There's the first pitch, way upstairs.
And Tom Hafner has gotten out 7 consecutive Lehigh Carbon Community College players, and then this one deep and sort of misplayed in the outfield.
That's the toughest ball as an outfielder. That ball was hit right at him. Could not, so in other words, no angle on it. Couldn't tell if it was going to get over his head, and that's exactly what happened. It just kind of hooked and just over his head. Tough play. Tough play.
And so Barron's 3 for 3 today. 2 singles and a double. Brings up Click, who was hit by a pitch in the first and walked, but has yet to face Hafner. And a leadoff double, both innings that the Knights allowed the leadoff runner to reach. That runner came around and scored. And Boyer looks back to runner at second and gets the play at first. Good, solid play.
Very nice.
From Zach
Very
Boyer.
nice. Solid fundamentals there.
Harold thus far flew to center and struck out. Again, has not faced... This is the last batter that has not faced Hafner at this point. And then we have the bottom of the order with Rush and Landis due up. 5-5. We are in the top of the 5th inning here in Game 2. Knights won the first game 8-0.
There's a nice pitch on the outside corner.
And that's the type of pitch when he drops to that 3/4 arm slot that he is very well known for getting.
It's definitely been executing. Another fastball.
right through the hole. What was odd about that play is it almost looked like
third baseman broke for the bag.
Yeah, Boyer looked like he may have even had a shot to knock that ball down, but he was breaking for the bag, and I don't know if it was just that Lowen was out of position.
Yeah, I mean, because it wasn't a force out. So, yeah. Well, you know, has like a tenth of a second to decide, so.
Alas, one down, and first and third for Rush. Rush doubled, and Hafner made that amazing play behind home plate. That was his first out he came in on, that he made that marvelous play in foul territory. Just upstairs, and that was a pitch that had been going the other way for most of the day so far. Barons is over at third. We've got Harold at first. Rush at the plate.
Beautiful curveball dropped in there for a strike. Haven't seen too many of those in a while. Drop that one right in there. Get back in the count.
He had just been going with pretty much heat. Runner goes.
Curveball.
And he's out.
Heads up play.
Fantastic play by the Knights. And so
they did what I was thinking that the Knights were going to do in game one, if you remember. Draw that throw and try to score.
And trust me, I know for a fact, and I have seen them practice and work on that play nonstop. Give up the runner at second.
Right.
Get the out at home.
Get the out at home. Cut that run down. Great play.
And, you know, Tom, that could be the difference in this ballgame.
Really could. Ooh, that fastball just kind of ran up and in.
Now, that being said, still 2 down. Harold's still in scoring position, so certainly makes it easier to get out of this inning, though.
Yep, an out any way you can get it.
And this is popped. Could be out of play. It's out of our eye line, and that's going to be out into the stands. Or the fans. We don't really have stands here.
Yes, into the fans congregated on the grass down there.
There are bleachers on both sides. And actually, Tom, between games, I actually noticed that the attendance here today is quite high.
Yeah, I like that. There's a guy sitting out.
And Hafner loses Rush, but they do come to the 9-hole hitter here with Landis, the catcher, who did single and score, but then struck out in his first appearance against Hafner. So if Hafner can somehow get this batter and keep the game tied, we're going to go to the bottom of the 5th with a tie ball game. That being said, still need another out. Just inside. And I got to be honest, we saw it happen a couple of plays ago, but the obsession with this runner on second base continues to pull the shortstop out of the hole.
Yep.
There's two outs. Just focus on the batter.
Absolutely.
But again, you know, I'm sure that that's something that Coach Stern works on with his players, so I don't want to second guess him. I'm just making an observation.
Mm-hmm. Ooh. He decided to check his swing on that, but still touched it. It seemed like it was center cut.
And
Bet he wishes he had that pitch again.
That is a strike nonetheless. Two balls and one strike. And that is popped up. Good eye line down the third baseline from our vantage point. That's like the one spot that we can't really see. And so that did get out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Can Hafner get out of this half inning? And he struck him out. You want to talk about the strikeout of the game.
Beautiful slider. Not what he was looking for there.
Wonderful pitch.
He had been sitting fastball, and the slider looked like the fastball until it wasn't.
We're going to take a short break as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, and this game is tied. Back here with you, bottom 5, Kevon Davis with one of the biggest hits of the game. Davis has been on base 2 times today, walked and scored in the 2nd, singled and drove in a run in the 3rd. And there's a shot to center, but right at the center fielder. Rush.
Good contact there.
For the putout, and Kevon has had 2 excellent opportunities there, but there's not much you can do when you hit it right at someone.
Yeah, that's baseball.
Thomas up to the plate has also singled and walked, so 1 for 1 on the afternoon, at least in this game. Was 2 for 3.
Held up on that one, so it was ahead in the count.
2 for 3 back in the first game.
Thought he was going to call that for a second. Thought better of it, though.
We have Thomas, Finke, and Fulton.
Nice curveball.
Although I will say it does look like we have a pinch hitter on deck.
Would that be for Finke?
Nick Joseph. So I'm not sure what they're going to do at the catcher position. I know that I don't recall ever seeing Joseph catch. Do have about 4 different catchers between Smiley and Hafner. And the walk there for Thomas. Another on base.
Yes, sir.
And Tom, out of 7 at-bats today, Thomas has made it on base 6 times. So that will continue to do wonders for the on-base percentage.
The old OBP, right?
And again, Joseph pinch hitting for Finke here, and it remains to be seen what will happen at the catcher position. As Thomas takes a sizable lead there, down on first. What an exciting contest. What an exciting afternoon of baseball here for the Knights. And Bluff's going.
There is so much room on that right side. So much room with him holding the runner at first.
And so it looks like the second baseman's going to cover in the case of a steal. I think if you could go the other way, you'd have the entire right side of the infield wide open. And he gets back.
Yeah, hit and run here would really open things up on the right side.
And that is something that...
and
there he goes. And he is safe. A huge steal from Thomas. Just what the doctor ordered there. 2 balls, 1 strike. And now a runner in scoring position with only 1 out.
The go-ahead run.
We got Joseph, Fulton, and then Zell back to the top of the lineup. Which would guarantee we would get back to Zach Boyer at some point before the end of this contest.
Again, lots of room on the right side.
Outside runs the count to 3-1. Angstad has struggled to find the plate here in the 5th. And there's a shot to the shortstop. This is going to be a tough play. And they call him out, and gosh, if that wasn't a tie.
That was bang bang.
And unfortunately, because of the nature of that play, the runner was unable to advance as Joseph grounds out. Now Fulton 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI.
Big run out there at second base, Paul.
And there are 2 outs.
He was trying to bunt for a hit there, knowing that the third baseman is going to cover the bag.
If they could just get Joseph on base. And back to the top of the order for Zell. Angstad the pitch. Big cut from Fulton, comes up empty.
Big fastball up and in there.
It looks so good coming at you until you swing for it.
Yep.
And realize there's a reason why the strike zone does not extend above the letters.
Mm-hmm.
Still such a huge hole. I guess I just don't understand. I understand the purpose of trying to hold a runner on a second base. I get that. But if you're then, look how he's playing right on the line, and you're basically opening the whole pool side to the hitter.
Yeah, the shortstop shouldn't be holding him on. It should be the second baseman giving him a little bit of shade and then going to this position with the right-hander here. Okay, now they settle back into normal formation.
And and there's no one covering third.
Right to the 5.5 hole there. Wonderful execution.
Fulton reaches base. Thomas to third. And now they're going to have a pinch runner. So because because Joseph took Finke's spot, they can pinch run for him with Montero. So the winning run is probably one of the fastest guys on the field in Jeff Randy Montero over there at first base. As Owen Zell comes up to the plate. He's reached base 2 out of 3 times, singled, stole a base, and did strike out. First pitch swinging. Cannot connect. And in the hole, 0-1.
A little bit of a bigger lead. Takes a good secondary, and there he goes.
Montero goes.
Draws the throw to first. Oh.
And Zell was called out That run, would he have been called safe? And that was a bang play. That would have been the difference there.
Absolutely. That was key. That was very close.
But alas, we go to the top of the 6th inning with this game still tied at 5. Paul Miller, Tom Davis in the net sports complex in Palmyra. Our games out here. We talked about it in the first broadcast, but last night's massive storm rendered the FNB field
That's going to be a tough
unplayable.
Play. Drops in.
So Hafner has pitched unbelievably well thus far, only allowing 2 base hits, and was saved by the fantastic play by Owen Zell at the plate.
Got to see if they can turn 2.
We're 1 for 3, and Hafner gets the call on the slider.
I think that'll back the third baseman still creeping in. Now he stops. Oops.
And it gets over his head. And another tough play. You know, you made this point earlier, Tom, but that was one that was, again,
right at him.
Right at him.
You can't judge it very well, and if your first step is in, they end up having to back up and jump.
And he was inches away from pulling that ball down, too.
Yeah.
Now Smith has walked, has a sac fly.
Takes a ball strike for a ball.
3, 4, 5 hitters coming up with the first 2 runners on base. Does get the call here.
They haven't pushed any in yet, though. So that's why the infield is in here. They're going to try to cut the run down at home if they can.
And that is going to be to left, and that is going to get down. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. And he's going to be out at second. Smith gunned down from the single. Gunned down at second, put the 2 RBI. And at least at a minimum, we got a run out, an out from that sequence. But Lehigh Carbon pulls ahead 7-5. And Wood comes up. Another big swing and miss. And this is really the first time Hafner's really gotten himself into any kind of trouble here.
It is. They're making some pretty good contact off in this inning.
And like I said, top of the order. And again, another one of those times where the leadoff runner gets on base and comes around to hunt the Knights.
Ooh. That ball looked like it might hit him. Came right in on the hands. I don't know how he touched that.
And we've already seen it once today. If you hit it in the right spot, it could easily carom back and hit you.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like something that happens often, but it's just sort of a little piece of nuance for this ballpark. Certainly not out of it yet. 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up for the Knights in the bottom of the 6th.
Oof.
My.
It's been very inconsistent. I would say across both umpires.
That's going to be out of play down the third baseline.
Pretty quick hands.
And fights off another one from Hafner.
Got him just a little off balance there with that one.
One down, top 6. And
blows him away.
Struck him out.
Just straight heat on the outside corner.
Wood with his second straight strikeout, 6th. Again with the 3, 4, 5 hitters, 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up for the Knights. And that is going to be first pitch swinging and now to play.
A little ahead of a curveball there.
Paul Miller and Tom Davis here from In the Net. Knights won game 1, 8-0 behind a Wyatt Kozer complete game shutout. Got off to a rough start here, 5-0, managed to claw their way back to 5-5, and that's before this inning. 2 more runs crossed the plate for Lehigh Carbon and has made it where we are now.
There's the heat again, getting him with the heat.
And what a way to battle back after those first couple of base hits, and that... All right, well, the Knights have 6 more outs here, including the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up. So we are going to take a quick pause, and we'll be back here with you for back here with you, bottom of the 6th. Barons comes in to pitch is Harvey McLean. And you'll remember back to game 1, Harvey McLean hit one over the monster.
Puts one down and in for a strike here.
Taking a look at Barons on the season has appeared. And this is going to be an impossible play. And that is exactly what the doctor ordered.
Exactly what they need here.
McLean has now pinch hit in 2 consecutive games, and he is 2 for 2 in those pinch hitting appearances. The single, 3 with an RBI and a steal, and 2 runs.
Just a little tardy on the fastball. Stiff fastball in the inside corner there. Of course, they're seeing him for the first time here now.
And
looks like they're doing a pinch runner at first.
A pinch runner. Tobin is going to take over for McLean. McLean with the dinger earlier today, and then a key base hit that now brings the time run to the plate with Kaufman. And they're looking back to first.
Yeah, they know they brought him in for a reason.
Well, Tobin actually has no steals or no caught stealing on this, so hasn't even attempted a steal. Just gets a piece of that one.
And when he might have better first.
At McLean. McLean does have one steal on one attempt. Trying to go back over to the first base.
He didn't even have that big of a lead that time either. So they're definitely... Ooh. Way to hold up on that one. That pitch broke for the plate. It was low.
Behrens was not pleased about that. Thought he had the strikeout. And this is going to be to
runner
get
at second.
the out.
That was a little messy there. It could have been.
They do get the out there, Tobin. But the tying run coming up to the plate is Zach Boyer. Boyer, back-to-back doubles. Scored a run 2 for 3 with an RBI.
Would take a double.
Swinging right up the middle.
That's down for a base hit.
And they will only get one person to advance as Kaufman, the winning run.
Tanner McCoy stands in.
Again, McCoy, 13 RBIs in 12 games. And that's not even including this one.
Ooh, that was a nasty pitch. That was one of the nastiest pitches we've seen all day.
Tanner was a little hard on himself. It's only the first strike. And I guess it's at worst, he threw probably his best pitch in the first pitch of the sequence.
He tries to throw a slider that time in the dirt.
And this is tailor-made for Behrens. As I mentioned, 3 appearances, 4 2/3 innings. 4 earned, though 10 runs have been allowed by Behrens. So not a bad ERA. Down and away.
Takes that pitch that's been called a strike several times, but we will take the ball.
Had 3 hard hits.
And has been very patient in his at-bats and has been rewarded for it.
And McCoy, it's going to be out of play down the first baseline. And I got to tell you, this is one of the most... One out here, bottom of the 6th. And that's going right back up the middle. That's not going to get it. And Stern waves home Kaufman. And the score is now Knights trail 7-6 as Kaufman
delivers.
What a great hit by Tanner McCoy. And now the Knights have new hope. And that brings up Davis with a runner in scoring position and still only 1 out.
Runner at first as well.
And Davis, as I mentioned, 1 for 2 here today, but did score a run and walked.
How much he was going to do with that.
You know, I almost wonder why Behrens would throw his best pitch to start both these guys off with and then work around that. That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense.
Unless he's assuming they're sitting on a first pitch fastball. But that's amazing that he's been throwing it for a strike, the curveball in the first pitch.
1 ball, 1 strike. Take strike 2. Thomas on deck, who's had an amazing day. Reached base 6 of 7 times. But a base hit here could tie this ball game. And Davis struck him out.
Down and away.
And hopefully hear from Kozer is that it is nothing like playing on an actual field, especially in the batter's box and on the mound.
Yeah. It's not the same sort of grip with the cleats on that hard surface. It's really like playing on macadam.
And times. 1 for 1 with a steal. 2 walks.
Nice base hit here could potentially tie the game.
Knights trail by 1. And that's going to get away from them. And
Both runners.
That is going to advance both runners. What a key play there on the wild pitch. Tobin got gunned down at second, and Davis struck out. So 2 down, bottom 6. Knights trail by 1. A base hit here by Thomas could blow this game open. Smiley on deck.
Yeah, depending on where it's hit, you could potentially take the lead with a base.
And took the strike. The fastball, letter high. I probably would have taken that pitch down 2-0 myself, but now 2-1. Barons is trying to work around this jam. He's one.
Thomas would not chase that. Wouldn't chase it.
I mean, you've got to give Thomas all the credit in the world here. The .432 on base percentage and the 8 walks, and that's coming into today. Low. Oh. We've come to expect.
They should try rolling one in there like a bowling ball and see if he calls it a strike.
And he walks him, and that was another borderline call that we've seen go both ways today. But the bottom line is the bases are loaded for Cam Smiley. He singled and scored a run back in the first game and was 1 for game. Cameron Smiley on the season, .571 on base percentage. And bases full of Knights here. Takes the pitch.
Yep. He knows that they really want a fastball, but he's not giving them that. Unless the count's in his favor.
And there's another one. I'd be really careful throwing that curveball because if that gets away, that could be a run. Although, such little real estate here behind.
That changes the calculus a little bit.
Very rare that I've seen a wild pitch actually lead to a run.
Ooh.
And just going to be out of play.
Pitch was inside off the plate. Kind of a defensive hack there.
So 1 ball and 2 strikes here with the bases loaded. Bottom of the 6th. 2 outs. Can Smiley deliver? With 2 strikes, but alas, the Knights do claw back with 1 more. And on the bright side, we will start in the next inning with Fulton, but then go back to the top of the order so the Knights can get some things going.
Could potentially walk it off.
Absolutely. With that being said, we are going to go to the top of the 7th inning, just trying to wait to see who is coming in to pitch. Looks like Hafner's going to keep the ball. We'll be back to see the conclusion of this game. Inning of play. Of course, extra innings is possible. Down the third baseline to
That's a
Boyer.
fair ball. Called out at first, but I don't think anybody on the left side of the field agreed with that. That was close.
Looks like Dominic Bruce in at first for McCoy made an excellent play.
Dominic Bruce is not afraid.
As Click was Nice reference to a song from the late 1980s.
You like that?
It's always been one of my favorite songs. So, what a play by both Boyer and Bruce, who just checked into this game.
Two-seam fastball tailed in.
You know, I'm actually surprised to see Bruce in the game as well and hit, and his position's due up fifth, I believe, next inning.
Same exact pitch. Ball, strike, ball, strike.
I mean, and that's honestly what has to drive you absolutely insane as a hitter.
Yeah.
Just lack of consistency.
And as a pitcher, too.
Another...
Big swing and a miss.
Huge strikeout from Hafner. And credit for how well he has pitched
Yes,
in this game.
for sure.
Now, I'm assuming there was some sort of double switch there because Boyer just hit. And now Rush is up. That's why I was confused.
It's Rush's turn in the limelight.
Well, and it is difficult being in the press box. We don't necessarily get told all of the substitutions, so we kind of just have to keep up with the game as best as we can.
Right.
Hafner has just been cruising, and even though those 2 runs were allowed, I gotta believe that today's outing is all but guaranteed him additional appearances at pitcher.
I would say so.
This is just
He's
truly impressive.
He's proven himself a weapon here.
Just off the plate, and gosh, we're talking about a razor-thin margin of error.
Yeah, Smiley tried to pull that back with a frame job, didn't quite get the call. Great pitch.
And this is going to be another one, and Boyer is not able to come up with it, but... And Rush with the single. Brings up Landis, who singled and scored back in the second, and then is struck out both times against Hafner. Gotta keep an eye over it first. You never know
You never know.
what might be going on. And a bunt. Out of play.
Some of these bunts have been wild. Just, again, on this
Off the
infield
turf.
turf.
And honestly, you know, this is our sort of second home away from home. Our first home away from home, I guess you would say. I wonder if that, in some respects, could be an advantage, just knowing how to play on the turf field.
Yeah. Everything's a little faster.
Fouled him straight back. Can Hafner get out of this jam? Runner goes, and there is a shot to deep left, and it's caught.
What a catch.
And that was huge because, again, it's so tough from where we sit to know if that had the distance that it would have needed to get out of the park.
No, it looked like he caught it maybe 10 feet in front of the wall.
Yeah, he had some room. I mean, when it came off the bat,
It was smoked.
legitimately thought there was a chance for a home run.
It just seemed like it may have had too much top spin on it.
Welp, we are going to go to the bottom of the seventh. Due up Fulton, Zell, and Tobin. But we shall see what they do with that number 2 spot. And then hopefully Kaufman and Boyer will check in. So that's what we're hoping. Barron's going to stay in this game. We'll be right back. Can we do it?
All right.
Paul Miller, Tom Davis in the net. Bottom 7. Knights trail 7-6 after winning the first game 8-0. Montero bats for Fulton.
His primary job here is to just get on base.
Now, he did pinch run earlier, but in that particular case, he was allowed to re-enter the game due to some USCAA pinch running rules. Just can't catch up with that heat.
Heat upstairs, yeah. Just could not turn that one around.
He held. Landis was pretty excited there. Thought he was going to get him rung up.
You can see Landis set up off the plate for that one, just trying to nip that corner.
2 strikes to Montero.
Now he's looking for a down.
And he rung him up. And I got to tell
That
you,
outside corner, man.
I've seen, we can easily go back to this game, and there were 5 pitches out there that weren't called. There were 5 that were.
Yep.
In that exact same spot. And that's just tough for Montero.
Definitely. He needed to take that pitch.
Zell can't catch up to the fastball.
Big swing from Zell. Slider that never reached.
One down, only 2 outs left for the Knights. And Zell popped it out to left, and quickly 2 down. And that's going to bring up Dominic Bruce.
Someone's had some Monster Energy drink on the visitor side.
Down to the final out. And just such a tough one for the Knights. They battle all the way back after a 5-run, spotting them 5 runs, battle all the way back.
Made it a very close game here.
Tacked on one more. And gave up an opportunity last inning with a strike. Really 2 out of 3 strikeouts with the bases loaded. And Bruce.
Straight up.
Bruce on the season, 2 for 4 with 3 RBI, hitting 500.
That'll play.
Yeah. Tough spot for his first at bat of the day to be with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. Gotta have a base runner here.
Desperately.
And he runs it full.
Payoff pitch coming.
This game, my gosh, what an incredible contest the Knights endured here. Even though they battle all the way back to tie it up at 5, they cannot overcome Lehigh Carbon. We're going to take a short break, and we'll hope to get somebody down on the sideline. And then we'll go back down. Nightly News Player of the Game, David Thomas. This is really sort of a combined effort across both contests, Tom. In the first game, Thomas reached base 3 out of 4 times. In the second base, he reached base 4 out of 4 times. That includes a stolen base in the second game, an RBI in the first, and really just the table setter that was there for the Knights throughout the contest. So congratulations goes out to David Thomas for an amazing game. And I mean, what else is there to say? This is probably one of the best days of baseball that I can recall in my time of calling games for the Knights. Tom, what are your thoughts?
I would have to agree with you. I mean, First game was fantastic simply because the Knights dominated. This second game was great, even despite the outcome, because it was so well played. It was a close game. The Knights were in it. It looked ugly early, but they came right back. And, this was a hard-fought game. Unfortunately, they just came out on the wrong side.
And another player that I want to give a shout-out to is Zach Hafner. Garcia kind of came in and was, iffy in the first couple of innings. Hafner came in and all but shut these guys down, only allowed 2 runs. We are just waiting. We're going to try to get Thomas down for a post-game interview here after the team does meet. So while we're doing that, let's just take 2 contests in a row last week to Brandywine, and then we'll travel Sunday to Penn State Shenango, followed by a contest at Lehigh Carbon. So they might want to give a little bit of payback here next Monday, and that we will return to FNB Field Tuesday, April 22nd for 2 ESAC conference games with Williamson Trade, followed by Community Night April 26th against Christendom. And as I mentioned previously, there is a potential possibility for a Manor College makeup to make up a doubleheader from earlier in the season. But gosh, this is really what it means to be a part of Knights baseball, a dominant victory, and a team that never gave up in the second game.
Yeah, this was, like I said, like we've been saying, this was a very great day of baseball for Central Penn Knights. Unfortunately, just couldn't pull out the second game, but they really tried their hardest. And they came close.
Knights will go to 10-9 on the season, and will have a couple of games coming up here over the next couple of days away. Only to haven't had the chance to get out to a game this year. You've got to save the date for next Tuesday when we take on. My apologies. We're going to take on Williamson Trade and then Christendom for our final 2. In the first game, 8-0. Drop in the second contest to Lehigh Carbon 7-6. David Thomas, Nightly News Player of the Game, reached base 7 of 8 times today. Just an absolutely fantastic effort. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, Abbee Breski will be down on the first baseline with our Nightly News Player.
All right, we're here with Nightly News Player of the Game, David Thomas, on the day.
Didn't have really good last week, so it's good to get back rolling again.
You're back. I would say that's a good return.
Yeah, no, it was.
Now, heading into that first game with the big...
Build off the energy off the first game, though. We came out kind of lackadaisical. I feel like if we come out guns blazing again, we should take it again. We should be 2-0.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abbee, for the interview with Mr. Thomas. Dave, thank you so much for an amazing effort today, and we appreciate all the hard work from the Central Penn Knights. We're going to get out of here for today. The Knights split a doubleheader. They win the first game 8-0 with a complete game shutout from Wyatt Kozer and battle back from 5 runs down, but can't hang on. From the Nightly News, Paul Miller and Tom Davis. We'll see you again next time.